Welcome to the Creative Life Podcast, the place where creatives go for inspiration. On this show, we sit down with the artists, makers, and creative thinkers to talk about the real stories behind the work, the challenges, the breakthroughs, and the lessons that shape a creative life. Each conversation is designed to inspire you, encourage you, and to remind you that your creative journey matters. My name is Jessica. I'm a creative coach as well as your host, and I'm joined today by co-host Dr. Jacqueline Gibbons, and we are debriefing our last several guests and having a conversation about the artists that sit on the couch.
Yes.
All right.
We're going to be discussing three tremendous guests that we had.
Absolutely tremendous.
Very unique. So we started with Sarah Crew.
Crawl, yes.
Crawl, my apologies. Oh, can we?
No, keep going. This is
okay.
the conversation.
Okay.
Let
Sarah
it
Crawl.
be natural.
And she's multi-mode visual artist, and also is now the executive director of
Radio Arts Center.
Radio Arts Center.
Yes.
A space that has been created for even just dabbling into entering the world of art can feel safe to create, to collaborate, to ask questions, along with commissioning her own artwork.
Yes.
We also met with Emily
Barnes.
Barnes, who has taken her love of storytelling and what a true craft that is, and as a result has also created IRL digital marketing and kind of creating this cross section of this authenticity, but how do we also make this part of the marketing and serve clients. And then our final was James Eaglefeather, who has had a rapid 360 of a life already at his age, and is now a speaker and an author.
Absolutely.
It's been a good time.
Yes, we have a really fun night. So that's one of the things that I love about our show is that you and we get to sit down and we just get to talk with creatives. And for creatives at home, you get to listen in on some of these amazing artists. And so just getting into them. So for example, Sarah Crawl.
Yes.
If you are following us on Instagram, then you would have known that we had an intimate talk with her. So we're able to go to 1111 Wine and just see her exhibit. And it was so seeing her exhibit and then seeing her, but I also took my daughter to go see an artist exhibit there. It was like a Mr. Rogers, Who's Your Neighbor exhibit. So I took my daughter there. And the coolest thing that Sarah did was she actually gave my daughter art materials and art and paper. And so my daughter started creating art, and she's giving art out to the artists and the board members and stuff. And Sarah's sign your art, But I think that that's truly what she's saying is she is creating an environment, not necessarily for the mature artists, but that emerging artists or those artists that they're intimidated to go into other galleries, but yet here they are. And you actually, can you talk to us a little bit? You're also on the Board of Arts organization and you're coming together with an exhibit. So tell me, how is that project going for you? I also want to hear about your creative life too, Dr. Gibbons.
Well, in a few weeks, the showcase will happen, which is representative of visual and performing arts in the community. And it's a showcase, and supporters come, and it's a fundraiser, and they have an opportunity we get to highlight their pieces. There will be some pieces that will be auctioned, and it's the behind the scenes stuff right now. The things it's not real sexy, it's meeting with the MC and talking about the script. We will be every year we give an award to someone who's contributed a great deal to the art community, and discussing that and how will that look. And a donor came through that has multiple pieces, who lost his wife, but she was a significant art collector, and said, take these, and what a beautiful gift. And so, discussing how that goes. Um, but then even more so, we're meeting again next week, and placement of pieces and how it's complementary, and the lighting, and in what order, because it's kind of a gallery walk type of thing, and how should these look. And it's and then I have to pick out a dress. So
Okay, awesome. Well, I think that's beautiful to also go into our creative lives and what we're doing, what we're gaining from the artists, because even Sarah Cross, you talked about
Mhm.
that too, about the administrative side
Mhm.
of being an executive director of an arts organization. So sometimes, yes, you're putting paint on the canvas, but other times you're figuring out invoices and you're figuring out artists and where placement on the walls. So art is not just nowadays, most people have many aspects of themselves as an artist. Sometimes they're a speaker, an advocate, a mentor. So all those things. And let's talk about Emily Barnes and
Mhm.
IRL digital marketing.
Mhm.
It was really cool because at the end of the interview, like towards the end, she's talking about her idea for the future and what in real life marketing looks like. And it was really interesting because I met her at an event. I'm always going to events. So you should be following us on Instagram because then you get to go to the events too. And then I'm going to
Yes.
call you out to make sure I see you out there. And yeah, I've gotten you off the couch too, Dr. Gibbons. We
Yes.
went to Hadestown together.
Yes.
We've done a couple of things.
Yeah.
So I got to get you off the couch
Mhm.
again pretty soon.
Okay.
But yes, I okay.
Feeling the itch.
Yes, absolutely. So I met Emily at an event, and it is true. Like, she is one of those people who sees the value of these growing forest spaces, of these mobile spaces, and the fact that she is like, I see something other people don't see. She's one of those creatives. She's a disruptor. Like, she's
Mhm.
always disrupting the industry and changing different things. So, give me some of your thoughts about Emily.
Well, the fact that, um, well, she talked about how she always loved stories. She had a tremendous experience in the Peace Corps in Morocco. She drew us in the story, you know, of her time there. So she knows what she's talking about. But the nuance of the storytelling and authenticity, but then also that whole balancing the whole, I'm an entrepreneur, everyone has bills to pay, I want to serve my clients, I want to do well by them, and I also want to nudge them in the direction of what what's your story? What do you want to say? Don't worry about what your competitor is saying. Um, uh, I don't know. I've never I've never viewed storytelling in that way, and it makes such sense. And then I think my own storytelling ability, I I need to follow her. There's
Oh,
so
absolutely.
much to learn from her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So right now I am part of the North Omaha Writers Workshop through Nebraska Writers, and we have our showcase happening in July. So it was really interesting when she was talking about your story and the ways or the modalities of telling your story. So as part of our showcase, actually, we get to choose that modality. So some people might do it through music, through poetry, spoken word, a book. And so I am actually in that weird phase of how do I want to show my art? Like, how do I want to do
Mhm.
that? And so hearing her talk about storytelling, and she's really non-binary in her
Mhm.
thinking. She's like, there's another path. So as I am a working artist myself, thinking about, okay, Emily, I can learn from you because perhaps I am thinking too rigid about how I want to share this. And for me, I don't fit within a genre. Kind of like James Eaglefeather, how he said he's in different genres. So am I.
Mm-hmm.
I love blending a genre. I love like, okay, is this a memoir? Are we sure? Or is this supernatural? Like, what is happening here?
I,
And
l-
people
I love the
like,
question marks.
and people are like, okay, I believe it. Okay, I guess, because it's here. So it was
Mhm.
really beautiful just hearing her say that and challenging me because these conversations should challenge creatives
Yes.
in their own journey. Like you said, how am I going to tell my story? Okay, what is my story? Now I'm going to follow her for more information. And then for me, it's the modality of telling my
Hmm.
story. And perhaps I can have a little bit more fun or be witty, like Ariel said,
Hmm.
get a little witty.
Hmm.
Okay,
Okay. I need to ask you some
go
questions
ahead, please do.
about
That's why we're here on the couch.
we have we have a bit of writing, a bit of writing in Jessica's world right now,
Oh,
if you
yes.
don't
Oh,
know.
yes.
So, yes, she's referenced, oh, sharing some work in this literary thing. Okay, let's be real. First of all, she's writing a book. Okay, there's that. Oh, but has also been writing her doctoral dissertation.
Yes.
Um,
And so like that's really interesting for me too. So a lot of people, so those that have read my work, I've been published since I was 16, and I also publish research too. So I have this very hardcore academic side of me, and we talked about it once before with ethical reasoning, because I mean, as a researcher, I can't just put anything on the page. So that also impacts in a weird way how I write creatively, especially with my creative nonfiction. And people are like, what is happening here? But people are like, I'm drawn in. So yes, I am working on a book. It is a type of memoir. So it's my interpretation of a memoir. And it's really understanding my maternal connection to this earth. And so, as a mother who has lost her mother, whose mother had a very rocky relationship with her own mother, it's me understanding these threads of connectivity and how there are things that are missing, and me exploring what is missing and saying, okay, and then it's not temporal. So I am the type of person who will take you to a 5-year-old moment, to a 30-year-old moment, but there's a train there, but it's not time.
mhm.
And so working on that, and then also working on my dissertation defense. And I love writing, I love research, talking to people, and so I am going to pursue publishing of this research. And that is a whole, if you ever want to know about navigating journals,
Oh,
writing for a journal, they're very rigid.
yeah.
So you have to understand their
Hmm.
language
Hmm.
and craft your own words into their language while still
Hmm.
remaining you.
It's that is very challenging.
It is.
The academic writing for a journal, they have all of these specifications, but then how are you still making sure that it's yours? There's creativity in that,
Oh,
believe it or not.
yes.
Um, what some academic reading would put many to sleep, but there is quite the craft to it. And so, dissertation defense
In a
happens
couple weeks.
in a
It's happening. It's happening.
gosh.
Sometimes a little stressed about it. I'm like, it's happening? Oh my gosh.
Sometimes
But it is
a
happening.
little.
Yes.
Wow.
I won't have to wake up
Well,
at 4:30 in the morning anymore. But actually, I
yeah.
think I will.
Mhm.
I'll just work on my book. Because I heard an author once say that it is possible for someone with a 9 to 5
Mhm.
to write a book or to publish work. And it's not about waiting for inspiration, it's
Mhm.
about being disciplined.
Mhm.
And so an hour a day can get you a book. And when I heard him say that, and he was the proof of it, I said, absolutely, it sure can. I can do
Mhm.
all these things, and I can be disciplined in giving myself an hour a day
Mhm.
to publish it. But my problem is, oh my goodness, I don't like to end things. I don't. And
Mhm.
so Sarah Crawl, when we were talking to her, she's like, "Oh yeah, the art sometimes it tells me when to end, or then some, I can keep going on forever." I am the same exact way when it comes to
Mhm.
writing.
Yes.
I don't want it to end. I'm like, why would I want this journey to end? Where are we going to go? I know where we can go. And as an artist, I had to remind myself, Jessica, this is not your story. You're just a conduit to share this story. And when the story decides it's over, that doesn't mean you get to be verbose and keep going.
Mhm.
You need to end and honor
Mhm.
the narrative.
Not to mention, eventually, at some point after 4:30, you got to go to work.
Right. Got a whole house full of noise. Yes, absolutely.
Uh,
So, yeah.
um, I I am absolutely thrilled. I'm I the doctoral journey alone,
And
that's
which you have been on yourself.
it's a beast.
Yes, it
There's
is.
a reason that not everyone in the world has one.
There's a reason why we're insane for doing this.
It really,
Yeah,
you have to have a little bit of insanity to
you
do it.
do.
Um, and then to be pursuing your creativity to uh, it's like you're doubling down on the, I am multifaceted.
I just believe that that's just me. That has always been me and not choosing one thing. So I am very much an academic person. I'm very much a technologist and give me data science and data, and I just eat it all up. And then it's number crunchers, you know. And then also, I'm very creative. Like, I don't believe that I could exist without being any of these things. And so living with your compounded identity and your existence and saying, yeah, this is me. This is how I authentically show up. You're going to get all of this of
Mhm.
me. But there will be balance. So sometimes I am less creative, I'm more academic.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm more academic and I'm less a technologist. And so there will be waves, and I'll let myself go through those waves.
Mhm.
And then there's times when I just want to go watch a volleyball game or a baseball game. And
Mhm.
that's just equally as fun
Yes.
because I find and I derive pleasure and joy from that.
Mhm.
And so when you're thinking about the way that you're serving the art
Mhm.
community, and I also want to connect it to James Eaglefeather.
Mhm.
So he has a true mission of how he
Yes.
wants to show up. He's driven, and you can tell that it's really coming from inside of him. I want to mentor. I want to create. I want Omaha. Why can't Omaha be that hub? Omaha can be a haven. And so, what you're doing with the arts organization, you're also opening up a type of haven in and of itself. So,
Mhm.
tell me about what drew you to that work and why creatives at home should consider serving on a board.
Uh, well, I think what drew me to it is knowing that, um, I mean, let's think of this area. And we just keep finding brilliant creatives and such variety.
Every time,
I,
every time we come to
I
this set,
know.
yes.
And just coming out of the woodwork. And we need space for all of them. Everyone, there's so much voice and perspective and beauty and layers to be shared. It's like there is not enough square footage. Um, I I love having these opportunities, and so many people just in their day to day who maybe wouldn't consider themselves an art enthusiast of any sort. If there are more opportunities for arts to be integrated in their day to day throughout their community, then they they're being recipients and they are maybe even developing greater appreciation and tastes and likes and curiosities and things that they want to learn more about, maybe learn how to even. Uh, well, Sarah was creating a space.
Yeah. And she
If,
started off as a volunteer.
yeah,
And then she
yeah,
got on the board,
right.
and then the position became open, and she became
Hmm.
the executive director.
Hmm.
So there are pathways.
Hmm.
There are
Hmm.
pathways, like you said. supporting this beautiful, vibrant community we have. Sometimes you do need the person that shows up to the gallery opening.
Mhm.
You need that person who's
Yes.
going to buy, instead of going to Amazon to buy some dishware,
Hmm.
you're gonna go buy, it's not gonna be Amazon prices,
Right.
but guess what? You are supporting your local economy
Yes.
and you're bringing something meaningful home.
Hmm.
And there's something about that, Healing created
Hmm.
this that just
Hmm.
feels so nostalgic and
Hmm.
precious. And this is coming from a technologist. I love
Hmm.
technology. I use
Hmm.
AI. Trust me, we are a very Internet of Things household,
Yeah.
but I still appreciate the beauty
Hmm.
of a workmanship,
Hmm.
right? And so, as you said, you are called to this space, and creatives, if you're at home, you're wondering, how can I support my local arts organizations or community? It's going to figure out when your next art festival is and
Yes.
showing up with
Hmm.
$10. Or maybe you don't show up with
Hmm.
$10 because it's price prohibitive, but you have time. You can show up and you can volunteer at
Hmm.
your local community theater.
Hmm.
They love I volunteer.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so you don't have to have money to support the arts.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
I love that. And kind of to add to what you do, so you volunteer uh, uh, actually quite frequently with Omaha Community
Community
Playhouse.
Playhouse as an usher.
Mhm.
It's fun.
And so let's say if there's something along those lines that you're interested in, or um, maybe if, locally with Holland, or if there is a gallery where you love to go, or um, even if it's an amphitheater or anything of that sort, um, send an email to the director and say, I love what you're doing. I want to contribute, even if it's not as an artist. If you just want to contribute as a supporter, what are some ways that I can do that? And you might be very surprised. They might say, well, what can you do? What's something that you do maybe for a living or whatever? Um, I know my dry cleaner,
Mhm.
they are the official dry cleaners for Omaha Community Playhouse. And so I actually get emails from my dry cleaner about shows at the
Oh,
Omaha
that's
Community Playhouse.
wonderful. And that's a free thing you can do with
Yeah,
social media.
yeah.
Likes, shares. We say it all the time
Hmm.
on the show. Like us, share it,
Hmm.
review, because that actually helps with exposure.
Hmm.
So you're right. If you get on someone's press release
Hmm.
email list,
Hmm.
share that information.
Hmm.
If you're following somebody, it's free to just press share to your story,
Hmm.
but it might mean something to them in their engagement rates. So
Hmm.
you're right. There are so many different ways to be involved and active. And you'd be surprised how many free events there are. So, James
Yes.
Eaglefeather, the first annual literary arts festival, that was actually free.
Yeah.
It was free to the public. You could give a donation,
Hmm.
but it was free.
Hmm.
And there were so many artists there. Like I said, we saw Leah Baez there. I was like, oh my goodness. And then
Our first
Arthur,
guest.
yes, our first
Hmm.
guest on the
Hmm.
podcast.
Hmm.
So when you start reaching out to this creative community, you will see that the creative community reaches out
Mm.
back and that there is space for all of us. I truly believe that there's space for all of
Yeah.
us because we need each other to thrive
Hmm.
and to grow. And so if you're a creative at home and you're like Sarah Cross said, sometimes the emerging artists, they're a little intimidated, they're a little afraid. But as you said, you can reach out, send an email. Maybe you feel more comfortable reaching out as a volunteer.
Hmm.
And then as you're volunteering, you say, hey, I also create art, or
Hmm.
you see opportunities from the inside.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem so scary
Right.
because you have a relationship now. It's,
Hmm.
oh, okay, I understand who the marketing director is. I could
Hmm.
reach out to this person
Hmm.
or who their community engagement person is.
Right. Right. Um, I I have to circle back really quick.
Okay,
When we
yeah,
were
let's do it.
talking about you and your writing and 4:30 in the morning,
Oh,
okay?
yes, yes.
Um, it I think back to when Sarah was talking about, here's this canvas in front of her. And there are some materials that with which she has control. And there's other parts where she just has to let go and kind of see where it lands and what happens, because ultimately she doesn't know what the final product will be. She's going with it. But what she's doing is she's still taking the next step, taking the next step. You're getting up at 4:30, and some things are within your control, and some things you're just seeing where the words lead you.
Just seeing where they are.
But what you keep doing is you keep showing up.
Yes.
And it's almost as if it's not necessarily, I mean, of course, people have creativity, but it's the more that you do, the more you open the doors for the creativity to flow.
And I believe in discipline
Mhm.
more than anything.
Mhm.
And I will be the first one to say that sometimes I sit down there and nothing comes. Like, and I'm frustrated. But sometimes it's because I have to address another external block. Okay, Jessica, you're stressed. Or did you eat correctly today? Or you got a text message or an email or something that set you off, or your kid was sick, your dog threw up. So sometimes, and we only have 1 minute left, but I do believe in discipline and I do believe in showing up. And then I also believe in being honest with myself and saying, I do not want to write today. And there are some times that I don't want to write because I know what's going to get put on the page and I don't want to put it on the page.
And maybe you're not ready for it to go on the page.
Right. And sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm just like, I know exactly what scene is coming up next and I don't want to write it. But I know what it is because I typically I see everything before I write it. I can play out a whole entire movie and then it's there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know what's coming. And I just don't want to release it. And then it gets bottled up and again. But anywho, hey, this is really fun. And I hope you at home that you have enjoyed just a peek into our own creative lives. We're always innovating and trying different things with our formats and our shows. But please like, share, subscribe, send this to a friend, and remember, creatives, that your work is always worth it. See you next time.